What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Wrestling World Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Austin Boyer. Before we get into tonight's video, hit that like and sub button. Hit that notification bell for your latest wrestling news, rumors, content, and spoilers. Alright, guys. Survivor Series War Games just ended, and what a War Games it was. We saw the Bloodline versus the OG Bloodline. CM Punk, Roman Reigns coexist to take on Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, the Tonga Toa, whatever you want to call them, brothers, and Bronson Reed. And they prevailed. There was a spot in the match where Roman hit CM Punk inadvertently with a spear, but then CM Punk saving Roman Reigns from a tsunami from Bronson Reed from the top of the cage, which would take Bronson Reed out of the match, leaving Solo by himself. And they put the beat down on Solo. And Roman Reigns, the Bloodline, CM Punk, they get the win. Great match. Excuse me, great match. I mean, from start to finish, phenomenal. This is storytelling at its finest, guys. Something that we've seen for many months, years. The Bloodline story, so many chapters, so many layers. And this begs the question, now that Roman has beaten the Bloodline, now that he has conquered the Bloodline, does this mean he regains the tribal chief? Does he get the Umafawa back? Now, notice, I want to point this out real quick. Notice that after the match, Roman Reigns did not put the Umafawa on, which makes me believe that we will see Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa sometime down the line. Also, after the match, CM Punk hugging Paul Heyman. CM Punk still wants that favor. CM Punk did mention on Friday Night SmackDown last night that Paul Heyman owes him a favor. And when Roman Reigns questioned Paul Heyman about that favor, Paul Heyman did not give an answer. Begs the question, what is the favor? Will Paul Heyman eventually leave Roman Reigns and join CM Punk? Will this be the last time we see CM Punk and Roman Reigns coexist? What if Paul Heyman were to take on both CM Punk in a manager role? We know that Paul Heyman has a past with CM Punk. We know he has a past with Roman Reigns. What if those two were to join together? Also, could this be time for Brock Lesnar to return? Now, make it make sense, because it does. We have CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, all Heyman guys. It would make sense somewhere down the line, but who knows? We don't know what this favor is, but we'll just have to wait and see here soon. But I don't think this is the last we see of Paul Heyman and CM Punk. CM Punk did this for Paul Heyman, but what does Paul Heyman have to do for CM Punk? That is the question. And that is the question that needs to be answered. And I'm curious. I feel like we're going to get a heel CM Punk soon. I really do. It makes sense. But in other news, speaking of heels, New Day celebration, Monday Night Raw. Can't wait. Anyways, let's get back to Survivor Series War Games. What a night it was. We did see the women's War Games match. I think that was great. Io Sky, phenomenal as always, just like last year. Big spot with her. I think the women put on a great show every year. Every time they do War Games, I think the women sometimes can outdo the men in these War Games matches. We also saw, well, Rhea Ripley hitting Liv Morgan with the Riptide through the table to pick up the win. Bianca Belair, Naomi, Rhea, um, so many others picking up the win there, prevailing. Uh, Great to see. Great to see Rhea finally get her hands on Liv Morgan. Um, Raquel Rodriguez being handcuffed to the rope, not being able to do anything. Amazing match. Amazing way to start off War Games. There's no better way to start off War Games, in my opinion. We also saw Shinsuke Nakamura versus LA Knight. And I will say they did a phenomenal entrance for Shinsuke. And you look at Shinsuke's return. Everything from his return to the entrance we saw tonight to the performance he put on. If WWE were to have Shinsuke lose this match, it would have been a terrible decision because this version of Shinsuke it is phenomenal. Just from start to finish, his presentation is just perfect. The way they are presenting him is just amazing. And it was a great match, I will say. Shinsuke and LA Knight, good match. Gotta give him credit. LA Knight dropping his title to Shinsuke makes complete sense. You can't have Shinsuke lose when you build him up like this. Entrance and everything. The presentation is phenomenal. You can't have Shinsuke lose. Plus, this loss will not hurt LA Knight. We could see LA Knight go on to, have another run somewhere else for a championship. Face it, LA Knight does not need a championship to be the megastar that he is. So, in my opinion, this does not hurt him. We also saw Sheamus, Ludwig Kaiser, and Braun Breaker in an awesome match. As you heard the chants, this is awesome because it was. Every Sheamus match is awesome in my opinion. And you probably heard me before say, Sheamus puts on phenomenal matches. He puts on a great match every time he's in that ring. And he showcased that tonight. I, for one, was surprised they had Braun Breaker retain tonight. I kind of thought maybe they'd give it to Ludwig Kaiser, being that he hasn't had a singles run yet. I wanted Sheamus to win, being that that is the only title that he hasn't held in WWE. But if this is going to go on until 2025 and we see Sheamus as the Intercontinental Champion, then I'm all for it. Because I feel like this is only going to lead to something much bigger for Sheamus or Ludwig Kaiser in the long run. So they could be holding off until then, which would make complete sense. We also saw Gunther versus Damian Priest in what was a great match. Now, the story of this match was that Gunther has lost his confidence after being beaten by Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel. I like that storytelling there, because Gunther was on a roll as the Intercontinental Champion, and even then as the World Champion. But ever since losing to Cody, Gunther loses his confidence, goes in to War Games tonight unconfident. Damian Priest picking him apart left and right, getting the upper hand, but Gunther eventually picking up the win with an assist from Finn Balor, who has been feuding with his former Judgment Day stablemate. This to me was a good storytelling from WWE, having them go with Gunther losing his confidence, not the champion as he once was. So I really enjoyed what they'd done here, and I thought that was really, really cool. that they had Gunther retain tonight. A lot of people said maybe Priest would win. I didn't really think so though, because Gunther is a very good heel and good at what he does. I don't see them taking that title off of him anytime soon. Could be possible they do, but that's hard. That's hard to tell. Um, Damian Priest, I think even if they were to give it to Priest, he wouldn't have held it for very long. But whatever. One thing I think that WWE didn't capitalize on was having the Final Testament and the Wyatt Six in a War Games matches. I think many of us wanted to see. I don't really understand the direction of the Wyatt Six right now, as we're seeing more backstage stuff than we are in ring stuff. We're barely seeing Uncle Howdy. We're barely seeing Bo Dallas. I don't know the creative direction they're going in, but it is very confusing. I'm not much of a fan of it right now. I kind of want to see more of Bo Dallas. I want to see more in-ring action with the Wyatt Six, and not just these writing on the wall vignettes, craziness. And in the beginning it was fun. In the beginning it was fine, but now it's just like, it's been what, a month or two, and nothing is really coming out of this feud. And even after a month or two, they went from feuding with American Made to feuding with the Final Testament, and we still haven't really seen enough of Bo Dallas or Uncle Howdy, as we continue to see video packages and vignettes and all this other stuff. And I think a lot of that too is Raw being only 2 hours, which makes sense. Hopefully when they go 3 hours, we see more. But I do think the Wyatt Six is becoming stale at the moment. I'm still a fan of the Wyatt Six, of course, but what they're doing now, I'm just not a fan of. And I hope that picks up soon, for the sake of Bo Dallas, Bray Wyatt's legacy, and the rest of the Wyatt Six: Nikki, Eric, Gacy, and Loomis. But one of the reasons I think that they didn't do the Final Testament and Wyatt Six is, I think, I don't think they wanted to overshadow the Bloodline versus Bloodline. So hopefully we see a match between these two stables here soon. I don't know, but see what happens. All in all, I think War Games was great tonight. I love the fact we see Shinsuke as U.S. champion. I, for one, am excited he's back, because I did say if they didn't do something with Shinsuke soon, he'd probably get released. And I think Shinsuke has come back better than ever. His presentation is just great. Better than before. I think they're presenting him in a much better fashion as they did before. And really cool. Like I said, hopefully Sheamus picks up that Intercontinental title, as we're all kind of just dying for right now. I think WWE's going to pull that trigger. They're kind of just milking it right now, keeping us on the edge of our seats for it. But I think it'll happen, definitely. In other news, though, Matt Riddle has debuted in TNA Impact Wrestling. So that's pretty big news for TNA. TNA, I was a fan of since the early 2000s. So that is really cool for Matt Riddle to come back to pro wrestling. I know he was in Major League Wrestling for a while, but really cool to see him in TNA. I don't know if he's signed with TNA officially, but he is for the time being. He's there. I have heard that the Hardys have signed full-time with TNA for now. I think that's cool. Makes sense. I don't want to see them rush back to WWE anytime soon, especially with the tag team division going the way it is. But we'll see. But yeah, guys, craziness all around. We did see the revelation of the new Women's Intercontinental Championship and the new Women's U.S. Championship on WWE. I think that's great. I think they're really stepping up the women's revolution, and this is big for the women's division. I've always thought there should have been more than one title to compete for, and now we are getting something else. Now, many people think that this may be too many titles. I don't necessarily think that. is because they have so many for the men's. Why not the women's? It's not gonna hurt. So, you know. But yeah, guys. So, what are your thoughts on Survivor Series War Games? If I had to grade it, I'd give it an A plus. Presentation, everything was just great. And it's just everything was just really cool tonight. I really enjoy it. Sorry for the glassy eyes, guys. I'm tired. Got off work a little late, but I'm probably gonna go to bed here soon. But I wanted to get on here and talk to you guys, give my thoughts about tonight. Excuse me, give my thoughts about tonight, and go from there. So I will see you guys possibly Monday for a live stream, and try to get a new try to get a new live stream schedule going, as my work schedule kind of affects that. I'm sorry I haven't been posting many videos. I've been really tired. But I love you guys. God bless. Like and sub if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts about the War Games in the comments. And have a good day, guys. God bless. I'll see you soon.